JCPS is moving forward with plans for its weapons detection system in middle and high schools. But first, it wants you to know how it works. That's why the district is showcasing the technology starting today over at Butler High School. There will be demonstrations going on there for the majority of the afternoon for members of the media and the board members of the school. Then next week, other stakeholders will have a chance to see this system in action. Now, the AI system is from Evolve Express. From what we know, the system will be placed at each of the check-in lanes for students. It'll be able to detect shapes in backpacks or under clothing that could indicate a weapon. School leaders say that this system is objective and can scan about 1,800 people an hour. As part of the school's system security plans, an armed officer will be present during those check-ins to be able to respond to any situation. But even more crucial, there will also be at least one school staff member present in every lane who knows those students. Today, we were able to do a walkthrough to see how that system works.
The lights go red. There's an audible alert. An image is sent over to the tablet. There are 2 tablets typically per lane, so people can have bags in the back, they can have it on their side, they can just walk through. If the lights stay green, they go right on in.
While this system from Evolve is what Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio wants, the school board is looking for bids for a company to put the system into place. And once that is done, JCPS will hold campus walkthroughs, followed by installing that system and then training staff members on how to use it. That'll take place over the summer. The plan is to have the system implemented inside 14 JCPS high schools by the beginning of the next school year. We'll continue to follow this story as more of those decisions are made for the district. You can read through Dr. Polio's full proposal for that security system on our web story right now at WHAS11.com. Some positive news from LMPD officer Nick Wilt's family. A month after he was shot in the head running toward that gunfire at Old National Bank, he has been transferred to rehab. He's come a long way in recent weeks. Our Connor Steffen attended a prayer vigil for Wilt just last night.
Gathering together to mark
an absolute miracle.
1 month ago, April 10th.
Complete chaos.
A young LMPD officer, one of the first on the scene, running toward the gunfire of the mass shooting at Old National Bank. Officer Nick Wilt ran straight into the line of fire. The gunman shot him in the head.
An injury like that to the head is just an incredible feat to overcome.
But with plenty of prayer pouring in,
Father God, we just come before you tonight just knowing that there's nothing that's beyond your reach.
Came progress.
A couple of weeks ago, it was Officer Wilt opened his eyes, and then it was Officer Wilt raised his head. I think yesterday it was Officer Wilt sat up, and then today we're hearing that he is in rehab.
The stunning yet remarkable update shared by the Metro Police Foundation. Officer Wilt, who suffered a critical brain injury, is currently being transferred to rehab.
And shame on us for being stunned because he is an absolute warrior, but he is overcoming it.
The Police Foundation shares his mother Jackie's reaction with us, saying she was even shocked at Wilt's progress, adding she's grateful for the community support.
Basically, it seems like he is showing major improvement.
In Louisville, Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side.
Wilt's family says he is not out of the woods yet. If you'd like to help their family, you can make donations through the Louisville Metro Police Foundation's Facebook page. Despite pleas for change, Kentucky has seen no gun change in legislation since Louisville's mass shooting. This is a stark contrast from other states which have seen the same kind of tragic violence. 2 Republican-led states have already set changes in motion. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed an executive order to strengthen background checks after a shooting at a Nashville private Christian school. Then a Republican-led committee advanced a bill in Texas to raise the age limit to buy an AR-15 to 21 years old. That law is being pushed by the families of the Uvalde elementary students and the mall shooting just last weekend where 8 people were killed, though the governor is not in favor of this change. Here at home, local and state Democratic lawmakers say talks are happening, but more needs to happen. We talked to Kentucky Senator Gerald Neal and Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg about how this issue can move forward.
We must communicate effectively. We must be very intentional and relentless about this.
Everyone in Louisville, everyone across the state wants to make Louisville a safer city, wants to do everything they can to reduce the amount of gun violence. So now we need to talk about the details about how we make that happen. And we've already identified some areas that we are working on where there is common agreement.
Since the Old National shooting, there's been talk on both sides of the aisle of a potential red flag law. The Community Foundation of Louisville is now seeking public comment on how the families and survivors of both the bank shooting and that of in Chickasaw Park will receive donations. There are 2 town hall meetings that you can attend. They are on May 22nd and 23rd, both at the downtown Louisville branch of the Louisville Free Public Library at 6 o'clock. You can also send public comment to either of the addresses there on your screen. A group of Louisvillians is demanding the city release the names of the Metro police officers, supervisors, and judges referenced in the DOJ's report. It was released back in March, citing racial injustice within the department and city government, and laid out several instances where officers violated rights, particularly of Black people and those with disabilities. That group calls themselves the People's Consent Decree Coalition. As the city is negotiating its consent decree with the federal government, the group's working to hold the LMPD accountable. The coalition's demanding subpoena power be granted to the Civilian Review Board and to drop those protest charges from 2020.
We want the ability to not only have you hear what we got to say, but act on what we got to say. We don't want the ability to just share our thoughts just for the sake of it. We're people living with the experience who can tell you firsthand how we can improve it.
The overarching message is people want to be involved. They want more say in how contracts for officers are negotiated and what that consent decree will include. A former LMPD officer pleaded guilty this week to using excessive force during the 2020 protest here in Louisville. Wednesday, Richard Roswado admitted to deploying a foam round into a crowd of protesters, one of which struck an individual in the face. He admitted he had not identified who'd thrown the bottle and was not aiming at anyone particular. His guilty plea carries a maximum fine of $100,000 as part of the agreement. If accepted by the court, he will forfeit his Kentucky law enforcement certification and agree not to seek future law enforcement employment. Louisville Tourism's looking to bring in visitors more representative of our community. In June, the Derby City will host the National Baptist Convention USA. It's expected to draw in 9,000 attendees, part of Louisville Tourism's strategy to grow visitation from 19 million visitors from 2019 to 25 million by 2030. Includes increasing the percentage of Black travelers to reflect more of the city's population.
So it's good for us to be in the city where the horses are run. It's good for us to be in the city where we have such a great mosaic of hearts waiting on us.
Visitors will have a jam-packed week of events in June, and many tell us they are excited to try out Louisville's food scene.